Hey everybody, welcome back. This is a quick short video on how the bumper Valance is installed on the S10 Xtremes. This video is in response to Private Ryan for asking me how this is put on. So here you go. So the very first thing I want to point out, this is not the factory bumper Valance. This is the aftermarket kind. This is the one that flex, okay? Which I believe is a good thing. I think factory these came out with fiberglass. Now, as you can tell, as we get a little lower, I've hit a ton of shit. It's scraped off the paint. Normally you can't see these kind of defects because the truck sits so low. So I would highly recommend, if you do end up getting a bumper, I'd stick with the, I think it's polyurethane, could be pronouncing that wrong. It's the ones that come basically black and they're molded, right? So one of the things I realized early on is the way these were put onto the car was essentially with double-sided tape, which is why a lot of them fell off, which is why a lot of them were never replaced, and they put on the small Valances that you can bolt on, which made the truck look super weird. But with these, originally, they have usually had like a plastic clip, or which eventually I replaced with a bolt back here. And then what happened with the heat here in Texas is it kind of made this lift up and it would rub a lot right here, as you can see the paint. So what I ended up doing is, with the bumper slightly unbolted, you're able to slop it around a little bit. And I was able to put a self-tapping screw, let's see if I can find it, right, oh shoot, hold on, right there. It just sits under the fender, and I found that doing it like that was way better than bolting it back here. And since what I was able to do basically is it pulled it forward closer to the grill, and all I did was come back here and I zip tied it. I know that sounds kind of ghetto, but that's what I saw to work out for me, and I haven't had any issues. And I've had hit stuff on the highway, like random trash debris that I thought sure enough ripped off my bumper, but it never did. So basically I did that on both corners. All right, so here we are on the underside. This is the driver's side, okay? Here's the Valance, in case you're wondering. This is the support bracket that attaches to the frame, right? So here, this bolt here is for the actual metal bumper. This is my first bolt for the Valance. Now, I'm assuming that when they made this, which you can kind of see right here, there's like a little dimple. You're supposed to have this metal bracket that goes from here to here, which could be fine. I don't have it. It doesn't vibrate, it doesn't flex, so I don't think it's necessary to have. I think at some point I will put that on there, just because I'm planning on keeping this truck for a while. It might become classic, and you know, people want those random parts, so I think it'll be one of those important things to have, you know. But aside from that, here's my first bolt. I think I ended up making this hole. I'm not really sure. I don't remember how this went, because you can see right here there's like another hole, and I think when I was installing this, it just seemed really weird, so I think I ended up making a new hole. So you have to play with that, and as you keep going, here's my second hole. I'm not really sure how many of these I actually ended up making myself, but basically I'm just using a 1/4 20 bolt with nuts and whatnot. So basically this is the fog light housing, which I kind of made a homemade fog light mount. Kind of works, kind of doesn't, but it does the job for now. There's nothing up here. There's nothing securing it from here to here, so it's basically blank, which is kind of odd because it's like the widest piece of plastic. I'm assuming the double-sided tape went here. I don't really know. So there's that. So as we continue on, here's another hole I made, I think in the bumper and the Valance. It's just, you know, 1/4 20. I put wing nuts on at the time because I think that's all I had, and I just never changed it. So there's that. These I kind of like flexed over this piece just because it seemed like it wanted to sag too much here in the front. And then there's the other one right there. It's just a similar 1/4 20 with a wing nut. So honestly, that's really it, and it just continues on the same in the front on the other side. I guess in case anyone's wondering, there is the bumper brand. Let's see if I can clean that up. All right, there you go. You can kind of see it better. When it's dark, made in USA, looks like KRD urethane. There's a number, I guess, model number or whatever. You can find these on eBay. I think that's where I picked this one up for like $180 at the time. I don't know, it's been a long time since I've had it. Well, yeah, that's really it. I mean, there's really not a lot to this one. I guess if you really wanted to get into the gravy of it, you can see that there is somewhat of a gap, and here is where it flexes upwards. Those are the two ones you saw. They're about like right here. And they're continuing on. There's a gap and it shortens out. At some point I wanted to make like this metal bracket that kind of follows under that, where I can just either bolt something through in a couple spots and the metal would kind of squeeze everything higher. So basically the bumper would be a lot closer like this. But once again, this is one of those things that I've neglected over the years, but honestly it's worked out fine. I think this is one of the first modifications I did when I actually bought the truck back in high school, when I had, you know, the first little bit of money I had, which was a lot at the time. So yeah, that's really it, guys. It's a short, quick video on how I installed it. I'm not saying this is the way to do it. I'm not saying this is how it should be done. This is just how I did it. And honestly, it's been on the truck for over 10 years like this without issue. So if you got any other questions, man, let me know. Peace.